Hey, welcome everyone. I'm just looking at Bitcoin again. Nothing much has changed. My hypothesis still remains. I just want to show you guys why I believe in these lines. It's because I see these patterns over and over again, not just in Bitcoin, but in every chart, right? This is how using these lines, check it out. You get point A and point B, the top of the last two bulls, right? And look what happens. 1, 2, 3 touches in the future. You can't make this stuff up. Also, look at the bottom. Using the same techniques, we were able to call this bottom right here, and not just one way, also over here from the top down, right? From the daily, from the top candle. At a certain point in time, you started here, but these things move with time, right? Then you're here, and then you end up here at one point in time. And you met resistance, you dropped. You attack the line again, you break out, and usually what happens is boom, you come and retest. Look at that. So there was two ways in the past that you could have approached this bottom on Bitcoin. I don't know if it's the bottom, right? I actually think it did go a little lower, right? But I think what's happening next is that this line has moved now to here. So we got to retest it. Same thing. You broke out of here. You got to come down and retest it. I guess technically this could be a retest, but I still think we got to go into and take out some of these lines out here. Because that's really where you begin to liquidate a lot of the people that bought Bitcoin down here, right? So you want to go and attack these levels. On top of that, this line is probably going to move to max pain, which is now going to be here, right? Like there's no candles beyond here. So this would be the bottom, and we still haven't touched it either. So that's why I think Bitcoin's going to go a little bit lower. And this is on the daily, right? And I think we're bouncing between these two 4-hour levels. Let's see which one breaks first. Maybe Bitcoin comes back up here, right? And maybe this line moves to here now. And then we're going to come back in the future and come over here. I don't know that yet for sure, but I still think we got to come down into this zone. Also, because I think this is the bottom for cryptocurrencies for a variety of reasons. We did call the top on gold using these same techniques. You guys see this orange line? It's on my X. Before it happened, as it happened, I was telling you guys from these 2 points in the past, literally the bottom candle, point A again, to max pain, point B. Look how many bounces we had here in the future, right? And remember, this point B happened in 2010. Even after you lost this orange line, look what happened. You came back up and gold kissed it. And this is the top on gold at the time. We went sideways for like 10 years. I hope that's not the case for cryptocurrencies, but it could be, right? So bottoms do tend to drag out. Even though we might hit bottom, it doesn't mean it's going to be a quick reaction up, right? Usually it seems like we just go sideways for a while before you get those parabolic moves. But you see, we were able to call the top on gold, and that when I first found this chart, it blew my mind because I was actually looking at Bitcoin measuring gold. I moved this line a little bit because I think we're going here now, but this line was up here. If you go to my X, right? That's how I knew that we were hitting a resistance. It's sort of like the silver chart. I haven't moved the silver chart on Bitcoin measuring silver, sorry. It looked like this. And you see silver 2 is breaking out of it. We also had this downward resistance line. And I think that we could come over here and retest. But you see, and Bitcoin gold were the same freaking chart. Even if I can add this on top of this line. So the blue one is gold and the white one is silver. It's the same exact chart, right? And this is what I mean by the manipulation. And same thing if I go to the gold chart and I add silver to it, it's the same exact chart. Let me see check this out. Let's add silver to compare, and it's the same exact move. Even silver went sideways for 10 years, right? So these lines are no joke, right, guys? I just proved it to you. Look at the silver chart, same as gold. We were able to call this top. Look at the 4-hour so you can see how more accurate it was. And I was telling people that we could go a little bit above it, of course, but that it wasn't going to hold. And ever since that, we had this nasty correction on silver. and gold. And I think that proves to me the manipulation, right? And I've been telling you guys about the total market crypto cap. I think it still has room to fall. So it's not just Bitcoin chart telling me the story. It's not just the gold and Bitcoin pairs or silver and Bitcoin pairs. Look at the total 3. Same idea, right? You broke out of the zone. I was telling people to watch out for the resistance and to wait for the retest. So now we're here. But in the past, I had this line somewhere else. We literally called this bottom, right? It's on my X. You can go check it out. I made a bunch of videos about this. And that's where we're waiting for. This is going to be the best time to buy altcoins. And it only makes sense because you have like things like AI agents mining crypto. And we know legislation is about to pass. I think it's a foregone conclusion, right? They're just trying to bend the rules in their favor. And they're not going to let powerful technology get away from that. They need to liquidate as many people as possible, shake off as many of us as they can before they pass the legislation so they can control the future of digital assets. And that's a scary thought. So I hope people in crypto begin to wake up, especially like projects like Cardano. I think it's going down to like 8 cents. You see this 2 points in the past right here, A and B. Same thing on the bottom, right? It hasn't been tested yet. We're almost there. And I think Cardano's going to go somewhere in between this line, between 0.086 and 0.0476. And this is really where you want to buy assets when they look like Cardano, especially when it's a peer-reviewed, mathematically proven way to do. It's a new technology, especially now with Midnight, which is another side chain of Cardano that's also been integrated into Ethereum, Solana, and XRP and other charts we can look at. But they're all saying the same old story, you see? They're breaking out of these resistance and they're trying to find support. Let's go look at something like Ethereum. I think still has a little bit of ways to go. I think Ethereum could go as low as one of these lines, guys, which is like at $800, $750. That would be crazy if Ethereum dropped that hard. But there's some lines, right, that I was looking at the other day. It seems a little bit too low. I think Ethereum could I was thinking it was going to hold a level like this guy, maybe. We already hit those levels. I think Ethereum still has a little bit of ways to go. I think Ethereum could go into the zone, guys. So below $1,000 Ethereum, it's in the cards if it can't get a break above this yellow line and rip up again, right? And you guys know I had this chart on Ethereum for a long time from these 2 points, this red line in the past. I just changed it. But look, we came into it, big old bounce. You could have taken a long right there. Next time we hit it, you could have taken another long right, taking some profits. But now we're below it. And I think Ethereum could go all the way down here, especially if Bitcoin dumps, right? And it's not just Ethereum. Look at XRP. We're talking about a 65-cent XRP, guys. Boom. It still has to come into the zone. We got this line here that hasn't been tested. Look how many times it held the price down before you had this explosion. I could see it coming back down. You should have this line right here. And as I've proven to you guys time and time again, right? My whole TA, these lines are like gravity. I don't know if they're going to hold, maybe, but it's going to come close to these lines, I believe. SUI, same story. Right now, it's actually trying to hold that line. But if Bitcoin dumps, again, all the altcoins will follow. And I expect SUI to probably come attack this line now, which is a 2 cent SUI. Whew, yeah. HBAR, same thing. Hasn't even tested this line yet. It probably come down to 0.036, 0.04 cents HBAR. That's probably where you want to load up. I think this is our last chance. It's probably the last time I'm going to buy cryptocurrencies. I'm about to diversify. And I'm over buying assets, right? I'm going to move more into trading assets. But this is probably going to be the last time I purchase a lot of crypto. This is HBAR, ICP2, one of the craziest charts ever. I think ICP could go down to this yellow line, which is incredible because it's like a cent. 1 cent ICP when it used to be like $500. Look at this chart. It's insane. All these cryptos are, no one cares. Even things that BlackRock is behind, right? The crypto cartels like Ondo. I think Ondo needs to come down to the zone again to shake off some of these people, liquidate everyone, put on a new bottom right here. Just enough before they pull it back up. You're trying to tokenize the world. Even Coinbase, which is not a crypto, right? But they deal with cryptos. The same thing, it's the same pattern. You got this line at the bottom trying to provide support for the move, and they're breaking out of this resistance. And see, Coinbase already came back and it's retesting. A lot of these cryptos will do. Tau a couple weeks ago, everyone was super bullish when we're up here, and I kept telling everyone we're going to come back and retest. Look, this resistance, I think Tau can come down to here. These are new that I'm looking at because they were pumpy, but I still think I wouldn't touch Morpho until it came to at least this pink line, but probably back over here, because if you lose this line, then you got to come back to the original line. So I don't know, this is what I'm thinking with something like Morpho. A new project, something like Canton. It looks pumpy, but I bet it comes down to test at least this level right here somewhere, I would say. And then the stocks, man, I've been looking at stocks and I've noticed that before they pump them, dude, they dump them. Like, see this big old dump right here? They go after the support before they pump it up. And I see this in every asset that I've been looking at. I just started looking at stocks for the first time, Tesla, and how before the big freaking move happens, this is Tesla, look how it's bing bonging. I would probably buy Tesla down at this red line if it comes down here again. But you see right here, before Tesla went this crazy move back here when we didn't know if Tesla was gonna work out, look, it was going sideways forever, guys. And before it pumped, boom, they dropped it. Look, took all these levels of support out here just so it could turn back around, and boom, explosion. You just missed out. I think this is where crypto's at right now. I think people feel bad because they're buying. I'm part of the Cardano community, and I never seen the sentiment so bad because we have like 3-cent Cardano. We used to have $3 Cardano, and now it's like, you know, I think we're going to like 5 cents maybe. But to me, anything under $3 is really, I think it is gonna feel like you were buying down here in the future, right? 10, 20 years from now, let's say. Especially after regulation. What is this? Nvidia too, look at, before they pumped it, right? Look right here, it came lower. They pumped it, broke everyone, broke all the support down here, liquidated everyone, and boom. It's the same thing with all these charts. Let's see what's going on with SpaceX, this new one. They're dumping it too before they pump it. Yeah, see, all these levels of support right here are gone already. Looks like it's gonna go after this line. I'm gonna take this one off. Yeah, let's see what happens here. They're gonna go right below the price just to pump it, or maybe it's gonna correct a little longer. I don't know. It's a new chart, so we'll see where this goes. I could see this just dumping too. All these stocks have it, guys. Before they pump these things, they just destroy you. Let me see. Look at Meta. Look at this. Before they pumped it, all these people that were making money, they just destroyed them. And then boom, only so it can reverse. I think that's sort of what's happening with cryptocurrencies, guys. This is just the law of the jungle. This is how you liquidate everyone. You get these crazy parabolic moves. What is this? Micro technologies. I just learned about it this week, I guess. Same thing. Look, before they pumped the crap out of it, they brought it back down to grab all this liquid and to liquidate as many of these people as possible. All the support that took a while to build up. And that's what I'm seeing with cryptocurrencies, guys. And Bitcoin, right? And even with the indicators, we're also waiting for for this indicator to go off one more time on the weekly. Let me see. Yeah, on the weekly, you see how it went off once right here? But look, right here it went off 3 times, which is this whole area on Bitcoin. The fake bottom and then the real bottom kicked in right here, right? But before that, right here was once again. So this was the bottom, little like a fake out, right? But it's only gone off like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times in all of Bitcoin's history, and it's all the bottoms. And it's going off right now. Doesn't mean it can't go off again. That's what I suspect that's going to happen, because we have to come down and retest this line. This is where you liquidate everyone, right? You test support and you liquidate all these people right here. And this is just what happens. Look at what happened the last bear. Max Payne right here, same line we're looking at today, right? You broke out. It wasn't as dramatic as this breakout, but you still came back and you still kissed the line before you were able to move to newer highs, right? And before that too, even the bear before that, check this out, max pain was like right there. You broke out kind of a flat line, even less that, but you still came and you kissed it. And then you were of course riding this 200 moving weekly average. Right here you even went below it. Maybe we do that again. Maybe we go sideways for a minute. Maybe this war goes on for longer than we think. But this is what I think is happening. This is just how you TA, guys. This is how you liquidate the most amount of people. And if something as important as cryptocurrencies, where the legislation is just about to kick in and the banks are fighting crypto, obviously they're going to dump the crap out of all these projects. It doesn't matter if it's Ethereum or Chainlink or XRP. The potential of these projects is immense, and that's just what they do before they control these charts, guys. What is this? Another one, another stonk. What is this? Google. I bet they dumped it. Right here, you liquidated everyone. Right here, you liquidated everyone before you got these explosions, guys. So I think crypto's the future. AI agents are mining it. Iran's asking for it. Legislation's coming our way. It's time for an update, and I think that's what we're seeing. Anyways, I hope this made sense for you guys. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.